All right, Disney World is different right now. We've been talking about it for over a year. Some of those differences are really going to impact your trip, and I'm not talking about masks here. If you're going to Disney World soon and you're planning on eating anything while you're there, you need to watch this video because you might want to change your plans. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Eating at Disney World has gotten a whole lot more complicated recently, along with everything else, and we've had to throw so many planning tips straight out the window to keep up with what's going on in the parks right now. This isn't a time to rest on your laurels and plan your next Disney trip like you've planned all your previous ones. These changes are going to make you rethink your plans, change some reservations, and maybe alter the way you approach food in Disney World. Dining is always going to be a huge part of your vacation budget, so I want to make sure you get it right. Let's talk about all those things that are going to upend your plans and how to deal with them. And don't worry, some of these changes are good, some of these changes are weird, and some of these changes are just going to change your plans. All right, some all-you-can-eat restaurants are no more. So during the reopening of the Disney parks, a lot of things were changed to accommodate new health and safety protocols, and that meant that a lot of buffet all-you-can-eat restaurants transformed into something completely different. Both Crystal Palace and Magic Kingdom and Hollywood and Vine and Hollywood Studios changed from buffets to served meals. Instead of endless plates of whatever you want from the buffet, both restaurants now have coursed meals with shared appetizers, choice of a single entree option, and dessert. It was just announced that Crystal Palace will go back to buffet style starting September 12th, but if you're going before then, it's going to be that prefix plated entree meal. Now, before you go about canceling your meal at either of these restaurants, let me tell you that the meals we've had at these places after the change have been a whole lot better than when they were buffets. The food has improved in quality, and while I know a lot of folks love buffets, it's really nice to not have to juggle plates and get up and down a lot during your meal, especially if you have the kids with you. Everything comes to the table hot and fresh. You don't have to worry about filling your plate and your kids' plates and everyone else's plates and then taking Johnny to the bathroom and getting everyone back to the table in one piece. While some people may see this as a reason to avoid these restaurants right now, our team has found it to be a plus, including me. I love me some Crystal Palace prime rib and fried chicken right now. And Hollywood and Vine over in Hollywood Studios still has their characters, so you can see Disney Junior characters at breakfast, and at lunch and dinner, it's Minnie's seasonal dine. Right now, it's Minnie, Mickey, Pluto, and Goofy in Halloween costumes. Now, we are hearing that buffets might come back. Boma has reopened with a buffet, so stay tuned. Join our free newsletter right at the link in the description here of this video. But we are hearing buffets are going to come back, so if you're interested in dining at these locations while they are not buffets, then you might want to change your plans quickly and get there soon. All right, some restaurants have not reopened in Disney World. It seems like we're getting new restaurant reopening announcements every week. But with over 400 places to eat in the parks and resorts, we're still waiting for a few to reopen. Speaking of Boma, that's one we've been waiting a very long time for. That's over at Animal Kingdom Lodge, and it finally reopened this past weekend. And it's also Disney World's first buffet to return, but we're still awaiting news on Jiko next door, which is the fine dining restaurant at AKL. A lot of the signature restaurants have not reopened. So if you're looking for some seriously high-end dining experiences to celebrate your major milestones, you'll have to wait a little longer for Victoria and Albert's and Tecumite. Victoria and Albert's at the Grand Floridian is the creme de la creme, uber fancy, best for a wild splurge meal restaurant. It's a AAA 5-diamond restaurant, one of only a few in the state of Florida. It cannot be outdone by any other Disney restaurant, but it's still not reopened. And Tecumite over in Epcot is nearly as high-end and upscale, but with a Japanese menu. You can book private dining rooms here or order the chef's tasting menu for an ultra special experience, but not quite yet. Since these restaurants have such over-the-top personalized service, it's not surprising that Disney's waiting to reopen them until they can fully and safely offer an experience on par with what guests expect. So again, stay tuned to DFB Guide here for our weekly news videos every Saturday. Sign up for that newsletter to make sure you don't miss out on any restaurant reopening news. But for now, if you want to dine at those super exclusive restaurants, they're just not back yet. Okay, some favorite dishes have disappeared as well. So if you have it in your plans to eat these days, it's not going to happen quite yet. A lot of Disney World restaurants have had to switch up their menus upon reopening to accommodate ingredient shortages and other hiccups in the supply chain. The fried chicken is gone from the menu at Trail's End right now. Tusker House and Cape May Cafe have both had their offerings significantly reduced. Many of the former buffet restaurants are offering pared down versions of what used to be available on that buffet in the switch to family style dining. And because of that, a lot of our favorite dishes have vanished or been replaced. But the good news is that these changes may not be permanent. When I first dined at California Grill after the reopening of Walt Disney World, they did not have their famous goat cheese ravioli on the menu, and it's been on the menu since the restaurant opened way back. But after a couple of months, it came back to the menu. And when Ohana reopened at the Polynesian Village Resort, the longtime grilled skewer menu staples were swapped for shrimp casserole and kielbasa sausage. But as of last week, the wood-fired grilled teriyaki beef, spicy peel-and-eat shrimp, grilled chicken, they're all returned to the menu. So that fried chicken may one day come back to Trail's End, fingers crossed. And we've seen a few snacks that had been missing return in the past few months. Katsaka's Kettle and Galaxy's Edge reopened without the weird space popcorn blend called Outpost Mix, but the sweet and spicy popcorn has finally made it back. Over in Magic Kingdom, shortages of the ingredients to make Citrus Swirl have caused the iconic snack to be unavailable for weeks. And sadly, my pineapple upside down cake with Dole Whip on top still hasn't returned to Aloha Isle. Now, most menus are still really limited compared to pre-closure, and we will likely see dishes and snacks come and go and come back again as Disney continues to roll with the punches of keeping their kitchens stocked. So be sure to check those menus before you make your plans in Disney World, and also head over to those menus again just a week before you go so you can make sure that the places where you have dining reservations or the places you're planning to go are still offering the things you want to eat. Now, characters still aren't really back. That's another thing to remember. Character meals are a huge part of a lot of people's Disney World vacations. FYI, a character meal, that means you go to the restaurant and you get to see characters. Usually they come up and hug you and sign autographs for you in an autograph book. But right now, because of social distancing, those characters can't get close to you. And Disney hasn't even brought back all their character meals. So while you have lots of places to dine with Mickey right now, you're going to have a hard time meeting other characters while you eat dinner. Garden Grill Restaurant, Hollywood and Vine, Topolino's Terrace, Chef Mickey's, and Tusker House are where you'll find Disney character meals right now. You won't be able to dine with multiple princesses, Alice in Wonderland, or Winnie the Pooh characters since Akershus and 1900 Park Fair haven't reopened. Trattoria El Forno and Crystal Palace haven't brought back their character meals, and sadly, Artist Point Storybook Dining is not back yet, and that's one of my very favorite character meals. But Cinderella's Royal Table will let you wave to Cinderella during your meal. Normally, you can meet 5 or 6 other princesses there, and you're still going to pay a hefty premium even though you're not getting the full character meal experience. So you gotta really make a choice about Cinderella's Royal Table right now. Because while lunch and dinner aren't the typical $80 plus price, you're still going to pay $62 per adult to dine inside Cinderella Castle, even without characters. If character meals are a huge part of your Disney World vacation and you can only dine with Mickey so many times, you might want to think about postponing your trip until you can see more characters in restaurants or actually meet them. Because remember, even with the character meals that are running right now, you won't get to hug Mickey or get his autograph, though he'll typically send you home with a card signed by the whole gang in advance. So yeah, if character meals are a big thing for you and your family, then it might not make a whole lot of sense to spend that much money to go to them at the moment. All right, let's talk about new restaurants in old spaces. A few fan favorite restaurants are returning and adding a little spice to their former facades. Over at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, you'll find a newly reopened Citrico's. Yep, Citrico's reopened mid-July with a totally new theme from the movie Mary Poppins Returns. Right, not Mary Poppins, not Julie Andrews, Mary Poppins Returns, Emily Blunt. Got it? Okay. Expect to find lots of floral details on furniture, robins and butterflies on the light fixtures, and of course several subtle nods to the magical nanny herself. Citrico's might have changed their look, but they still have that open kitchen where we can watch the chefs prepare our meals. Chef Andres Mendoza created a fully redesigned menu to accompany the new restaurant theme, and this new Mary Poppins Returns design is elegant, so it's not a huge departure for Citrico's, and you don't feel like the movie theming is in your face here. So if you're a huge fan of Mary Poppins Returns, or if you're just looking for a signature restaurant because there aren't very many open right now in Disney World, Citrico's might be able to sway you to change your plans. Now let's talk the Wave. There's a ton of construction going on over at Disney's Contemporary Resort. One of the restaurants is being swept up in all the remodeling, and that's the Wave ... of American Flavors. The Wave as we know it is gone. In its place is Steakhouse 71. According to Disney, this will be a new casual-themed dining concept that gets its name from the resort's opening year. Disney claims the restaurant should reopen in time for the 50th anniversary celebration October 1st. That being said, you can still order the Wave's breakfast items over at California Grill for the time being. So what does that mean? Moderately priced, delicious food for breakfast in one of the most beautiful restaurants in Disney World with one of the greatest views? Yeah, sign me up. This might be a reason for you to schedule a good table service breakfast that maybe you wouldn't have done before because you don't want to spend that much money on breakfast or you don't have time to eat breakfast in Disney World. Well, being able to eat a moderately priced breakfast with one of the most sought after views in Disney World may change your mind. Now, the Wave and California Grill are about to play a little tag team game here. While the Wave is predicted to open before or on October 1st, California Grill isn't taking any reservations after October 2nd as they reimagine a new menu in honor of the 50th anniversary celebration. There's no official word on what exactly is happening at California Grill or what we can expect once it starts taking reservations again. But since the reason for California Grill's temporary reservation suspension is directly connected to the 18-month-long anniversary celebration, we're guessing this suspension won't be too terribly long. But when we hear more about the California Grill game plan from Disney, we'll update you ASAP. So what this means is book breakfast at, quote, the Wave / California Grill and get an awesome view. But remember that if you're thinking you're going to dine at California Grill after October 1st, there's a whole lot of question marks around that right now. We don't know how much it's going to cost. We don't know what the situation's going to be. So that may change your plans as well. All right, let's talk new menus. Some restaurants have completely revamped their menus and ditched some of their longtime and iconic dishes for something new. I say some because in the before times, we could see menu changes much more frequently than what we're seeing now. Desserts and drinks used to change out more frequently at quick service locations, but we don't see that happen much at all nowadays. And entrees at signature restaurants are also sticking around longer than normal. However, some restaurants have switched things up quite a bit that we can't allow to fly under the radar. They deserve some recognition. One of those places is Fairfax Fair in Disney's Hollywood Studios. Yeah, we've given a lot of grief to Fairfax Fair and Sunset Ranch Market as a whole over the years, and yeah, the menu is still all hot dogs, but they have stepped up their game. They've got a hot dog with a pretzel bun, a California BLTA dog, a plant-based hot dog salad. They've even got a hot dog topped with truffle, bacon, macaroni, and cheese. So is it the best food you're going to get in the park? Still no, but things are definitely better than they were, say, 5 years ago. But FYI, you're still going to have to sit outside. So, take it for what it is. All right, Docking Bay 7 over in Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios also has some new menu items right now. Everything is still going to be a little weird and space food inspired. It's not what you're going to find at other quick service restaurants in Disney World, though, and it's also still more expensive than what you'll find at most other quick service restaurants in Disney World. They've added a new beef stir fry, hopped on the spicy chicken trend, and added a few lighter options like tuna poke and a salad topped with chicken. So if any of that sounds good, maybe it's time to head over to Docking Bay 7. Okay, next thing we want to talk about, Disney World changes that will make you rethink your plans, is that some reservations seem to be impossible to get right now. Even if you're ready to book those advanced dining reservations right at the start of the current 60-day booking window, you're still going to have a tough time getting a reservation at some restaurants, and the struggle is real. It is so hard to book a reservation at Oga's Cantina and Galaxy's Edge and Cinderella's Royal Table in Magic Kingdom. And it's not even just the big deal restaurants. We're seeing lots of restaurants book up further and further in advance. And if you can't get one of those reservations, you're probably going to have to rethink your plans. So consider the next best thing. You can't dine in Cinderella Castle, maybe try the new menu over at Crystal Palace, or see if Magic Kingdom's other castle restaurant, Be Our Guest, still has some openings. Can't get into Oga's Cantina? That doesn't mean you can't dine and drink in Galaxy's Edge. Docking Bay 7 and Ronto Roasters can still provide you with that authentic intergalactic dining experience. And don't forget the blue and green milk. Whether you love it or hate it, it's a staple item for Star Wars fans that you've got to try at least once, just to say you did. Now, is your heart still set on Cinderella's Royal Table or Oga's Cantina? Don't give up quite yet. Check back on the My Disney Experience app frequently and see if a reservation magically opens up. Oftentimes, other guests will have to give up their reservations because, as you know, plans change. And we've had a lot more luck finding reservations a week in advance these days than we ever had before. All right, Walkup waitlist. Though the wonderful world of technology has made reservations and ordering more convenient in most cases, lounges like Nomad Lounge over in Disney's Animal Kingdom and Trader Sam's at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort might have you join a Walkup waitlist. Now, this doesn't sound too bad until you realize how hectic the process can become. Nomad Lounge opens at 11 a.m. Trader Sam's opens at 3 p.m. daily. But don't expect to just walk up and get into these places after they've opened. No. Why would you expect that in Disney World? When you walk up to these lounges, a cast member will put your name on a wait list and add your travel party to the virtual queue. Virtual queues can be nice. It allows you to continue exploring the area and going about your day without having to wait in a physical line. However, these virtual queues can still rack up wait times of up to 2 hours or more, which is a lot of time to wait for an adult beverage and a small snack. If you're really wanting to check out these lounges, consider getting in the physical line 30 minutes or an hour before opening. That's still a long time to wait, I know, but we're talking if you have to, absolutely have to experience these on your vacation, then this is probably your best step and going to prevent you from waiting in a virtual queue for hours on end. Are there virtual queues every day? No, the crowds have gone down quite a bit since school started, so we are seeing some days that you don't have a very long virtual queue, and there may be sometimes you can just walk up to Nomad Lounge and get in. It's possible, but don't count on it, and make sure that you have enough wiggle room to wait in a line or a virtual queue if you want to visit these spots. Now, this is particularly important for those wanting to visit Trader Sam's because the lounge is only open from 3 p.m. to midnight. The virtual queue fills up fast, so if you show up later in the evening, you might not even be able to get on the wait list at all. Sometimes Nomad Lounge will pop up on the My Disney Experience app as a walk-up waitlist option that you can join right in the app, but Trader Sam's always requires you to join at the check-in podium. Okay, next on our list of things that might make you rethink your plans are the unexpected price hikes. Sometimes Disney price increases are super obvious, and sometimes they're super sneaky, small increases that you won't really notice. But they can add up fast, like how Epcot's France Pavilion had a 20-cent price increase on several of their restaurants' menu items, or they can be more egregious, like a $2 increase on spring rolls at Magic Kingdom. Yep, those rolls now cost a whopping $9.50 instead of their former price of $7.50. If you go to the grocery store, you can probably get a box of like 25 of those for $9.50. So how do these increases make a major impact on our wallets? Remember that scene from Bug's Life where Hopper's talking about the influence of one ant attacking them versus hundreds of ants attacking them? Yeah, basically the same thing with food prices. 1 or 2 price increases aren't going to break the bank for you, but Disney has this habit of adding slight price increases to a ton of their dining options. So instead of you spending an extra 20 cents that you weren't planning on spending before, you might find yourself spending an extra $50 or more. Price increases add up, people, even the smallest ones. Do you have a budget already set aside for food on your upcoming Disney World trip? Add an extra $50 or so to it, just in case. Even if you don't spend an extra $50, you'll at least have more wiggle room to work with. Okay, let's talk about those mobile order waits. For the most part, this mobile service can be very convenient. You order your food right in the My Disney Experience app for a quick service location, which is a fast food restaurant. You choose what time frame you want to come back and get your meal, and you return to the fast food restaurant during that specific time frame to wait for your meal to be prepared. However, during those super crowded days, some of those return times on the mobile app can push your preferred noshing time back quite a bit. You might find return times for your fast food option are no longer available for the primetime lunch hour, and you're going to have to wait until the afternoon before you can finally eat, which can make for a grouchy travel party if everyone's starving right now. So we recommend ordering your lunch or dinner early in the day to lock in the time you want to eat. So maybe order at 9 a.m. so you can make sure to get the 12 p.m. pickup spot. But since you'll be planning ahead anyway, you might want to just book a table service reservation ahead of time to guarantee in advance you'll have a meal when you want one. If you're booking well in advance, you'll have your choice of restaurants, but if you wait until the last minute, you'll have better luck finding a table at places like Skipper Canteen or Plaza Restaurant in Magic Kingdom, Mama Melrose in Hollywood Studios, Nine Dragons or Spice Road Table in Epcot, and Tiffin's or Rainforest Cafe in Animal Kingdom. Some of these aren't the most amazing meals you'll have in Disney World, but it might be better than settling for a hot dog or turkey leg. Oh, and here's one that got me when I was in Disney World. Restaurant hours have changed. This is another dining change that might throw you for a loop. Many Disney World restaurants aren't offering breakfast right now, like Be Our Guest restaurant in Magic Kingdom and Epcot's Garden Grill. You might miss those bacon and egg options, sure, but another thing you might miss, being able to book these restaurants for early morning breakfast reservations to get in the park before everyone else does. You used to be able to get a reservation before park opening, eat, and then be one of the first in line for rides. This isn't an option at some restaurants right now. The only way you're going to be able to get into the parks early in the future is by staying on Disney property. Tusker House starts serving breakfast at the same time that Animal Kingdom opened, so while you may be able to get in a little early to make that reservation, you won't have time to hop in line for a ride ahead of the crowds. Cinderella's Royal Table is the first Magic Kingdom restaurant to offer breakfast again. We're expecting the same situation where it starts serving breakfast right at park open, but we'll update you once reservations are released starting tomorrow, August 24th. Starting October 1st, Disney hotel guests will be able to enter any Disney World park 30 minutes before official park opening. Okay, but what about our late night dining? Has that been impacted too? You know it. Some restaurants in Disney World close a lot earlier than they used to. I also was hit with this the last time I was in Disney World. All of Disney Springs closes by 11 p.m. right now, and it used to stay open until 2 a.m. or later. So double check restaurant operating times beforehand to make sure you're not going to miss your window of opportunity to eat at one of your favorite locations. And the formerly 24-hour restaurants aren't open all night anymore right now. Peekaboo over at the Dolphin Hotel, Captain Cook's at the Polynesian, and Gasparilla Island Grill at the Grand Floridian all close around 10 p.m. instead of being open 24/7. But remember, if you absolutely need late night eats, you can now opt for delivery through Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, etc. Those services can all deliver to your Disney hotel and we'll have a lot more late night options for you. I'm so glad this is here. That means maybe I don't have to eat quite so many gas station sandwiches. Now, some quick service restaurants may close a little earlier than expected too, so don't plan on grabbing something to eat right before the park closes. It may be too late. In Hollywood Studios, ABC Commissary regularly closed before the park, and Ronto Roasters is still on limited hours. It's only open until 3 p.m., but you can get the famous Ronto wrap next door at Docking Bay 7 after Ronto Roasters closes. Okay, next we're going to talk about the dining plan. Currently, the Disney dining plan is still unavailable, but Disney says it will be coming back soon. Now, what exactly is the Disney dining plan? Well, this allows guests to pre-purchase meals ahead of time and include that in their vacation package. If you're traveling before it's back, just plan accordingly. Budget, budget, budget. I know it sounds like a boring task before a fun-filled vacation, but it's also absolutely necessary when you're dropping that much dough. Take a look at Disney World's quick service restaurants and find meals ahead of time that you think you might like to order. You can even bond with your travel party over a dinner at home by discussing and creating your personal selections you might make throughout the trip. That way you can calculate how much on average you might spend on meals so you can budget a little bit better. If you're used to just getting on the Disney dining plan and not having to think about your food budget, then this is a tough blow for you, but you may end up saving some money. The Disney dining plan can be expensive and you may end up spending less when paying out of pocket. But if you still want to have that money set aside before your trip, load up some gift cards with the amount you'll think you'll spend on food and just use those when you're paying for food in Disney World. So, are you rethinking the plans you had for where you'll eat in Disney World yet? Come on, you can't lie to me. I can hear those wheels in your head turning. As it turns out, planning out your meals in Disney can be kind of complicated lately, along with everything else, especially with all the changes that were made after the parks reopened last year. But it doesn't have to be complicated. We are here to help guide you through the process. You can even grab a copy of our DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining 2021 today to receive our complete ebook of tips, tricks, and recommendations for Disney World restaurants. It's totally updated. We just updated it last month. So all of this information we're talking about in this video is in that book. Now, you'll find that guide along with our snack guides, our festival guides, and our holiday guides over at dfbstore.com. Our YouTube viewers also get a special discount code. Use code YouTube to save some cash on your guide, and it is absolutely 100% guaranteed. There is a money back guarantee. We have a wonderful customer service person who just will give your money back if you don't like your purchase. So take a shot, see if you enjoy it. I pour my heart and soul into that guide, and so does our guide team. We have so many smart people here who are just making sure you have everything you need to know about dining at Disney World in that book. So give it a shot, see if you like it. I hope you do. All right, so there's lots of things that might make you rethink your plans in Disney World. Some are good, some are not so good, and some are just neutral, and it is what it is. So let us know your thoughts in the comments. We can't wait to see what you're planning for your Disney World trip. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.